No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I'm in here with a guy who comes highly recommended. Fascinating story. K-Frog is in the building. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Excellent. 1090 Jake told me that you were like the interview that I had to do. Like he got the opportunity to recommend one person, and he said you.
Not real now. I fought with 1090 Jake.
You do?
Yeah.
I thought you guys didn't technically get along. Where's that
I mean,
at?
we just don't speak like that. But
Let me just adjust this slightly. Yeah, sorry.
yeah. I mean, we don't speak like that. But I ain't got nothing bad to say about him.
Right.
You know, just some people you fought with them. I wish success on them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, ain't no tension or nothing like that. But you know, we just don't speak like that.
Have you guys done content together though?
Yeah.
Back in the day on his channel?
Yeah, I was on his channel a couple times.
Right. Okay. But let's start from the beginning before we start getting into all the sort of internal YouTuber politics. Tell me a little bit about your early days when you were a kid.
All right, when I was younger, I grew up in Eastside Davie, which is in Florida.
Okay.
Broward County. And I just, I used to always stay in some shit. So I kind of like got locked up at a young age.
What age?
12.
12.
Yeah.
What kind of upbringing was it like? Florida, it's a very different sort of environment than what a lot of people grow up in.
It's just like I grew up like with the older people. So like, when you're younger, when you get the chance to show the older people that you down and shit like that, you're going to do whatever you do, So I'm the first to do it, type of shit.
Right.
That's why I got named K-Frog at a young age.
Boy, what's K-Frog mean?
Well, my first initials are K, but,
okay.
You film Froggy Leap. I used to always get in some shit.
So you were always the first one to act out?
Yeah. I used to always jump the gun, like be the first,
To
so
what? Swing?
anything,
Punch?
Whatever would go down, it don't matter.
Right. When you look back on it, was it a situation where you had these sort of older dudes hyping you up to do shit that they wouldn't necessarily do themselves?
Yeah, of course. As I got older, I realized that, but, then I got to the age to where I'll beat their ass.
What were your parents like?
My parents were cool, you know what I'm saying? They were separated, so I had 2 different houses to go to and shit, if
Similar
I needed to.
level of
Totally different.
danger, or did you have like one that was nicer than the other?
Nah, one was definitely nicer than the other.
Right.
Like I grew up like a daddy's boy, you know what I'm saying? And my dad lived in East Davie, where I'm from. And my old girl, my mom, she lived probably 10 minutes out, still in Davie, but she was more nicer and had it made than my old boy.
Okay.
And then my old girl wanted to baby me a lot, and I ain't want that. So then I always, a boy's gonna always want to be around their dad more than anything.
Right.
So then I'd always tend to go to my old boys. She'd always say, don't go to the east side, and that's just what I always wanted to do.
You were just drawn towards the bullshit, or you just wanted to get into some shit? You were just the kind of kid who wanted to get into that, or?
It was just like, I just like to do my own thing. And it was kind of like one parent wasn't as strict as the other one. You know what I'm saying? Like my old boy would be like, someone messes with you in school, you punch them in their shit.
Right.
My old girl was like, you tell the teacher. Feel me? So it was kind of like, well, I don't want to tell the teacher. So, punching them in their shit, kind of like the right way to go.
I think about that sometimes, how there might be like conflicting messages coming from my girl and me to my kid.
Yeah.
At a certain point where it's like, am I going to tell her not to tattle on anybody? And then mom's going to be like, no, you should have tattled. And that's going to be a fucking weird moment at some point.
Yeah, and all the parents, every parent wants to be the better parent.
Right.
So, like, the less you let the kid get away with, well, they'll feel like, well, then my mom will let me do it.
Right. Like, I'll be playing a rap song with all kinds of swear words in it, and my girl will be like, you're not going to be able to play this around her once she can speak or understand a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is...
Because they start saying them.
That's one thing right there where I guarantee you and me are going to be at odds about this for the rest of our lives.
Because they start saying them as they get a little older, you know what I'm saying?
Which is scary, but also it's like, what, am I supposed to now listen to rap music around this fucking kid?
Right.
Yeah.
I listen to it around my kids, but mine,
See, because I'm coming from a perspective of being around a lot of the dads that I know, and I sort of look at like, oh, that's a good dad. People smoke weed, and the kid is just around. Nobody's really concerned about this. People are drunk as shit around the kids. People are playing rap music, the swear words in the rap music. The average like rap dad that I know, I bet has never even thought about the fact that the songs have swears in them.
Probably not at all, right?
It's like you're coming from very different perspectives right there.
Yeah,
whereas to my girl, this is the biggest deal.
My mom, she wasn't like, well, you don't listen to rap or don't swear or nothing like that. She was just more on like, try to be there for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, felt like in the long run I do better being good than bad. And I just lost her on Valentine's Day, my mom.
Your mom passed on Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm sorry. That's
My
terrible.
old boy passed before I went to prison, so I ain't got no parents right now. But
Damn.
But my old girl literally just passed like a couple months ago on Valentine's Day.
Do you feel like you're still grieving? Like, how did you deal with it emotionally?
I mean, I'm the type, like, even with my old boy, like, I was real close to my dad, you know? But I got, like, set up, locked up the day after my old boy died. So, like, I was going through processing while he was being cremated. So I ain't have time to grieve because here I'm in this environment now.
I heard you tell that story.
Yeah, so then, you know, when I came home, literally, is when it hit me that my old boy wasn't there.
Right, because you're having to deal with all the shit.
Yeah, it just felt like I was away from him for a while, you
Right.
know? Tough love, he ain't coming to visit or nothing like that.
But your mom passed and you're kind of in a more safe
Yeah, and then my old
world
girl,
right now, right?
Yeah, like she was, you know, my old girl was sick or whatever. And then, you know, by her passing, you know, I can't, it's to the point to where, you know, they say that a parent should never have to bury their kid, you know what I'm saying? And then that's the way of life, that the parents go first.
Right.
And then as you grow up, you don't pay attention and realize that you ain't the only one getting older. Your peoples are getting older too.
Right.
You know, so like, I got to come home from prison and spend time with my old girl and get closer to her, like I wasn't before I went to prison. You know, I got to get closer to her, and I feel like that like made it where it prepared me. Like if something happened, let me go ahead and hang out with her now. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the worst case scenario, the worst thing is for one of your parents to die and for you to have regrets. Like that you never had these conversations about things that are important to you, or you never felt like you really got close to them. Like what you're saying, you felt like you got close to her, and then I feel like that, as long as, like, I would feel terrible if I was fighting with my parents for a couple of years and wasn't talking to them, and then they passed.
Well, that's the thing. See, like me and my old girl, we didn't talk for a little while, and then one of my homeboys had told me, you know, just let her know, you feel me, I'm not, anything bad I ever did in my life, you know, it wasn't because of you. You know, it ain't got nothing to do with the way you raised me. Shit like that. Made her cry and stuff, but it made her feel good.
Right. Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So I got that off my chest to her, and I feel like that kind of like put all the bad shit behind us, you know, and then I was able to like, because I took care of her, you know, like I didn't live with her, but I'd go over there and meal prep for her while she was sick. I did all types of shit, you know what I'm saying? But so I got closer to her, but we would let everything go before, because since my old girl was sick, we knew it was when the time's gonna come. It's like we were prepping, you know, just to know it'll happen.
So she'd been sick for a while?
Yeah, she had cancer. You know what I'm saying? In her bones, and then she had cirrhosis in her livers, and so like when she went, like the last time I seen her in the hospital, like 30 minutes before she went, she was like all yellow, like a highlighter.
Wow.
Her liver shut down.
And so has this changed how you think about your own life? Just thinking about how you only have a limited amount of time here on Earth?
I mean, I know everybody's got their day. I want to say it's changed at that. Like I know, you know, everybody's got their day regardless. It's all on basically what you do before that time comes. You know what I'm saying? That's why kids are important, you know, because it's like, if you ain't got no kids, who you gonna leave your shit to? Everything you doing and everything you trying to get and make and everything you trying to, you know, rally up to put shit, have it made. If you ain't got no kids, no offsprings, who you gonna leave your shit to when you go?
How many kids you got?
Two.
What ages?
14 and 3.
Okay. Yeah. You ever think about how if you knew you were gonna die in 2 weeks, what would you do for the next 2 weeks? Because
I just spend time with my kids because I got kids.
But life is kind of like that, where it's probably not going to be 2 weeks, and you don't know the exact date, but you do know that you're going to die at some point. So whatever the fuck you're doing with your time should probably be, you know, given that level of attention. Like if you fucking hate your life right now and are just doing something that you can't stand, I mean, shit. Like what's your excuse for that?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if I had 2 weeks, I mean, shit, I don't even know what I would do, but I'd try to get me a lifesaver or something.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
So you get locked up at 12. How did that go down?
I ended up catching like a stab charge.
Who'd you stab?
Some dude in the neighborhood. He was grown. I was young. You know, he tried to put his hands on me, and I felt like I could hit him because he's a grown man. I'm a juvenile.
And you were keeping it on you at that time? It was.
Yeah, but the only thing that went sideways with that is because I had got into it with his nephew. His nephew was like 20 years old.
Okay.
And he jumped out on me. You know, like I was riding a bike, he jumped out. I took off on the bike on his ass, went to the house and got a baseball bat. And I was gonna just go back and hit him with the baseball bat. But then it didn't work like that. My old boy, his wife took the baseball bat and shit. So then I grabbed a knife and went down the street. Went there, told the nephew that I'd fight him one-on-one and shit. And then my stepmom went down there with me. And then next thing you know, the uncle came out there and was like, oh, you think you grown? And he tried to grab me. So I upped my knife and cut him.
Where?
In his chest.
Bad?
Yeah. And then the police, like the mom was already on the phone with the police. So like they came, they were there when it all went down.
The cops were almost like there when it happened, or like right
like
after?
Instantly. Like as soon as I like pulled it out and everything, like and did the whole act, they pulled up. And then I would have ran, but if I would have ran, they told me since I didn't run, DCF didn't get involved with my peoples, because if you'll do a dangerous act and the police come and you'll run when your parents are there, then your parents can't even control you. So it was a good thing I didn't run off, you know what I'm saying? So I got arrested for it, and they charged me with it because I was at his house. I was like, if it would have been anywhere else, like if it would have been on the street, but it was like the swell area. Down in Florida, we have a swell, which is like the outside of on the other side of the sidewalk. Like you got a sidewalk along the gate,
right,
and then you got grass before the road. So since it was right there, it was basically his house. They charged me with it.
Wow.
But if it was 2 houses down, I would have got off because he was old. He was a grown man, and I was a juvenile.
Oh yeah, right. That's got to be the weirdest part about it. You're like 12. And
yeah, so I dead ass felt like I was in the right.
Right.
But I shouldn't have went back down there. That's what fucked everything up.
Okay, that makes sense. So they just lock you up for how long?
I did 21 days then, and got out and was waiting to go to like a juvenile program. And then I caught the bunch of other charges and shit in the middle of the juvenile, waiting to go to the juvenile program. You know, like attempted robbery and all the little batteries and shit like that in my neighborhood. And then
what was your thought process? Like, they're gonna lock me up anyway, so I might as well do some shit before I go in.
Get it all out my system.
Right.
So then after that, I got sentenced to a program.
Right.
Juvenile, like a little prison or whatever.
Program is just like a specific type of prison bid that you get when you're underage at that point, or what?
Yeah, like juvenile program. We got like 4, 6, 8s, and 10s. That's what they go by. Like, that's like what level it is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
4 means you can like go home. 6 is less time than 10, or 8, and then 8's less time than 10. You know, it goes like that. And then I went there, and then supposed to do like 6 to 9 months. Ended up doing like 18.
Really?
From getting in the shit while I was in there.
What kind of shit are you getting into?
Fights and different shit like that.
So you get in there and it's what is it? Where they say gladiator school?
Yeah.
It was like that.
Just like that. Yeah.
All of a sudden you were like the worst kid in your fucking area, and then all of a sudden you're around all these other way worse kids.
Yeah, you come in there and then where I was at was in Miami. Where the Everglades are at, Florida City.
So you're dealing with people that are from a totally different walk of life than you were used to.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, you know, when you go in there, you know, people are gonna test you and shit. Especially I'm a white boy. You know.
Did that stand out a lot at that point? Like most of the people you were locked up with are not white?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yep. Because down south, like down in Florida and shit, we got majority black people locked up than you do white people. You know what I'm saying? And then we grow up cool with black culture, you know what I'm saying, where I'm from. So it's like, we don't go off skin colors.
Right.
Like, that shit don't really matter, you know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's weird how it doesn't seem like it matters that much. Like, people would be totally be down to be cool with you on the outside, but then it feels like it's got to get way more complicated once you're in there, because a lot of white guys are racist.
Yeah.
A lot of the black dudes and shit probably don't fuck with you off rip, or at least they want you to really prove yourself, right?
Not really. It's different though. It's more like down in Florida, like in prison and shit. If you're white, like me, like how I go in there, I get along with blacks and Spanish. So you'll have the whites who are in their white gang that don't really fuck with me because I'm cool with the other ones. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I'm on some shit like, I don't care what color you are. You know, that shit don't really matter to me. You can be fucking any color you want. You know, it don't really. So it's more like when you're white and you get along with blacks, you got more problems with the whites than you do the blacks. The blacks are cool with everybody, so it's not really, you know, it ain't really.
Because they're like less insecure, at least in that prison format, because they're so in control of it that it's like, why the fuck would they really be so concerned about you, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, no matter where you go, though, when you're a white boy, you gotta, like, eventually show them what's up, you know? Like, or else you're just low-key tucking your tail and you're fucking trying to float and not be noticed, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So how long did it take before you had to sort of prove yourself, or someone tried to fight you or something?
What, in prison?
Yeah,
or
when you got locked up on the younger shit as well?
Oh, like, shit, as soon as I got into detention center doing the 21 days before I even went to the juvenile program, I was fighting.
Really?
over a bag of sour Skittles.
Really?
Stupidest shit ever. Yeah, man. And I ain't even mean to get in the fight. It was just the guards amped that shit up. You know what I'm saying? They walked in the middle of the quad, and we got this thing called the horseshoe, and they got like these rubber couches that's shaped like a horseshoe. And the guards just walk in and threw a bag of sour Skittles in the middle of the fucking floor.
Right.
So everyone jumps on them shits. All the jits are fighting each other and everything. And I was just sitting there. I wasn't even the one going after the Skittles. I was just sitting there, and then the one kid that got him and shit, he went to fighting everybody up, and he got up and he kicked me dead in the mouth just from sitting there.
Wow.
You see, so I was like an innocent bystander, you know what I'm saying? And then when he hit me, I jumped up and fucking got in the fade with him. Then they were like, "Oh, that white boy's bumping." They were like, "We're gonna call him Chucky."
That was your original nickname in there?
Yeah, they were like, yeah, he looked like Chucky because I had longer hair and shit when I was younger.
Okay.
Like a blowout.
How old are you now?
32.
Okay, so you're still pretty young. But so, okay, at that point, you start to feel like you're more accepted, or like what does that kind of turn into?
It just turned into where like they knew I'm gonna bump. So it's like, even if they're willing to bump, it's like it ain't gonna go by easily with him without bumping, you know.
Right.
So a lot of times it just be a precaution, you know. People will say shit and act some type of way, but they'll normally only do it to people who they know aren't gonna stick up for themselves.
Right.
So if they really don't feel like fighting, but they talk like they're gonna fight, or if they know you're gonna fight, they might not really want to fight. So they're not gonna fuck with you no more. Next, they're gonna try to friend you and embrace you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's just how that shit goes. And then I was known in there, and then I went to the program, used to get in the shit. So then they started calling me Spark Plug. Because the spark plug get hot and pop off. That's
Really?
what it was. I get hot and I pop off on someone.
Have you always had a temper like that, or was this more just like something that you kind of started to do to keep your reputation when you were in prison? Like,
Well, no, I was in anger management classes and everything when I was younger.
really?
Just
Because you were just likely to snap and just swing on somebody, or what?
yeah, like if it led to that, you know, I just was like, my old girl used to say that my eyes fool people, you know what I'm saying? Like they see a white boy come in. They were a lot bluer when I was littler, but she'd say, "Oh, see a white boy, baby blue eyes and shit," so they think it's sweet, you know, they think they can just, and then you're in an environment where you're outnumbered regardless.
Right.
You know, so after a while, eventually, you know, instead of it being to where they keep trying to come at me to make me prove myself, it got normal to me to where I'm just going to prove myself. And as soon as I get in this shit, just to let them know, like, I'm not the one to fuck with. Because win, lose, or draw, we can get in there. You know what I'm saying?
I think I realized, like, at some point in my life, like, you can't really fight that good. So if somebody disrespects you, you should punch them before they get a chance to punch you.
Nah, that's
You
true.
know?
Yep.
But you just had to be real with myself at a certain point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like my one homeboy, he'd be saying all the time, like, I don't know how to fight, but I hit hard.
Right.
Not me, him. You feel me?
Right.
That's true, though.
If you can just get that one clean shot off, I mean, that could be the whole tone of the entire exchange.
Yeah, because there's a difference from, you know, will fight or knowing how to fight. You know, a lot of people talk like they know how to fight.
Right.
You know, and they run their mouth like they really, if the fight broke out, they really know what they're doing. In all reality, they don't. They might be down to fight, or they can just take an ass whooping.
Right.
You see, so at the end of the day, they just still run their mouth.
There was this dude in Boston. When I was a kid, they were like this really fucking mean, tough ass band called Blood for Blood, and they're basically part of like a big ass gang in Boston. But it's like a hardcore gang, you know, like going to all these hardcore shows and shit like that. But they were fucking crazy. A lot of the worst violence I ever seen in my whole life was at these shows and just like shit that they would get into with random people. And one day I go to interview this dude, White Trash Rob, who was the singer of this band Blood for Blood, and he's watching the UFC. And I spent my whole childhood thinking these dudes were the toughest motherfuckers on earth, right? And he's watching the UFC, and he's like, I love watching this shit because I could never imagine doing this shit because I can't fight. Or he's like, I'm not like a tough guy or nothing. He's like, that's why I always had mad weapons on me. And I'm like, oh, right. I spent my whole childhood thinking like, these dudes are the toughest dudes on earth, and he's like old enough and grown enough to basically just acknowledge like, I was never really that dude. That's why I was stabbing people and hitting people with bats and shit.
Right. And then another thing, from at a young age, you know, down in Florida where I'm from, you see it to where, you know, the people who get picked on when you're locked up, or the people who let that shit slide, their bid, their time locked up, to me is 10 times more miserable than if you were to just get that shit over with and fight. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you could fight this one person, and respect goes a long way. You know, that TOH, when they TOH you, which is test the heart, you ain't even got to win. You know what I'm saying? You could just get there and you just show that you're with it. And you can dead ass lose. And that person right there is going to get more respect than a person who don't fight, to a person who lets them try them, and they're going to get tried throughout their whole bid.
And have you seen a lot of people who are really like that terrified of just fighting? Just the possibility of getting knocked out?
I've seen people come in dorms and offer off rip saying, look, I don't get no money or nothing, but I'll make y'all's beds. I'll clean y'all's drawers. I'll do whatever. I'll be the laundryman, your hold down man. I don't know how to fight. I don't want no problems. You see it, and not just white people. I'm talking about all different colors. I've seen all races like that. It ain't like just the whites are scared to fight. You know, it's in everybody. You know what I'm saying? But to me, that's a miserable ass bid. You know, like I'd rather get whooped, get jumped, and get it over with, and y'all be like, yeah, we ain't gonna jump them again. You know, rather than to be like, oh look, bruh just robbed him for 3 honey buns. Look, oh, he got 7 of them now. We can get 7 out of him. Or it's like, you know, when they see somebody doing it and you not doing shit about it, the other people kind of like, ding, oh, let's see what we can get out of them. We just got to rob them before the other people rob them.
You were robbing people? You were making it clear that you were taking people's shit?
I mean, I've done it, you know, but that wasn't really my stilo.
Right.
I like to make money, you feel me, rather than take people's shit. But I did it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not steal nothing, though, but took it, because there's a difference from stealing than it is taking.
Taking it, like, in front of their face versus having to
like
sneak
this
over
is my
and get
shit.
it.
This is mine now. You feel me? Like that, rather than them leaving. And
you feel like that comes with too many complications, though, if you're just sort of like taking people's shit, that you just create too many enemies, or?
Yeah, it can. That's why, like, when something like that goes down, 9 times out of 10, you can't trust that person in the dorm no more. So someone's got to go. We can't both live here.
Right.
You know, you might try to come up, stab me in my face, or cut me in my sleep. You know, so just different things, you know, because down here, I'm not down here, but in Florida, we got a lot of open bay camps where it's just a bunch of bunk beds.
Right.
You know, we don't have no, like, segregation. There's no, they don't separate you amongst your race, your charge, or your gang.
Right.
You know, so you could be in an open bay dorm or 2-man cell dorm, and it could be a blood with a Crip. You could be a murderer with someone that's got dealing with stolen property or driving with a suspended license. You could be white, black, Spanish. Everyone's just all together. So it's always something going on. It's always something happening. You know what I'm saying? So normally when shit like that goes down, one of us got to leave.
Did you hear about Rico Reckless, what he was talking about in his interview? The Glock Dookie?
I don't even know who that is, to be real with you.
So he's a rapper from Chicago, and he said that when he was locked up in the jails in Chicago, that there was something called a Glock Dookie, where basically someone would take a plastic water bottle like this, and they would fill it with shit and piss and everything, and then they would run down on somebody like, hey, give me whatever, give me the honey buns, or give me whatever you got, like give me your fucking extra clothes or whatever, and if you don't hand it over, you're getting doused in shit.
Oh, that's crazy. Nah, see, I ain't
never heard of that?
Nah, never. I mean, inmates throw feces and stuff on guards and different shit like that, but people are playing with lawnmower blades and machetes and shit.
I was blown away by that, because that's like a fucking real, like a poop-oriented weapon. Like, you could just, I don't know, that's like chemical warfare.
That shit gets you infections and all types of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that only even came up, too, because I asked Whack 100 about, somehow Whack 100, when he was talking to me, said that he used to stay with a poop knife. So that he would keep a machete covered in poop so they could stab you and you'd get fucking gangrene.
Well, I know about them pissing on it, but I don't really know about the shit. Yeah, I know about a knife with piss on it, like an old, like lid to like a tomato can lid. That shit right there, get it all crunched down and folded and then sharpened and everything, like that, and then they just pee on it, and then you get all fucking. You know what I'm saying? So it's like next time they use it, the cut don't get you. The shit on is going to get you. You know
Did you get used to having a weapon on you early on in your bid there, or did that come later?
Nah, it was mandatory.
Really?
Yeah, because it's something that's needed, you know, so everyone's got one. So it's like you walk in the dorms and you feel the tension in the air.
Right.
You know, like, and you might just be in there just cutting through. Like, you just feel the tension. Everyone's got knives. But like the first camp I went to, it was more of a hands-on. Like the first main prison I was at was more of a hands-on, and we'd fight. A couple people got ripped with razor blades. Wasn't really that many knives.
You never got stabbed in all these activities?
I got stabbed on the streets before.
Really?
Yeah.
What age?
My back, I was like 14.
Really?
Yeah. Day before Christmas.
How'd it
my
happen?
Corner store. I was out there meeting up with somebody or something like that, and bro owed me money. And he called me, he's like, oh, I got your money, yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, all right, you feel me? He came through to give me the money. I got the money from him. And when I walked off, I turned around and something was just my spider sense, just a look. So then when I turned around, I seen something shiny, I blocked. got a scar right here actually on my hand where the
So
first one hit.
he gave you the money, and then he was going to come and get your ass and then take the money back?
I don't even know if he wanted the money back. It was just.
Did he have any like actual reason to want to hurt you?
Nah, he was high. You know, so he was like he was just, I don't know, he was on some Conan shit, and
Even when you look back at your childhood, there was a lot of tweakers around. Because when we think about Florida, we think about people doing meth and shit like that.
Yeah, like when I was real little, like I'd say right around the peak of when I was 12, 13 years old, you'd see what you would see like all in the neighborhood and at our corner stores and shit was like old syringes and stems, which is the little glass jar with a mini rose in it. So you'll see the little roses laying everywhere, and that was the glass jar they were using to smoke dope out of.
Right.
So you don't see that shit like that now, though. But back in the day, they were at all of our corner stores. You just see little roses laying everywhere.
Just because everybody's doing fentanyl and pills now?
I guess so. But they took all them little things out of the gas station, you know. But back in the day, they were just everywhere. Me not knowing what it was, you know, and they'd set you up like with payphones. Like you might go to fuck with the payphone, stick your hands in the little thing where the change is, and there'd be a syringe in there and poke you. You see, like different shit like that. Like,
wow.
You see, so you can't really, or you walk by and look at the payphone and there's used needles just laying there.
Right.
You see, that's how it was when I was little.
Definitely. So, okay, that first stretch that you were in there, like, ended up being how long? Like 2 years?
Yeah, I was only supposed to do 6 to 9 months, and I did like 2 and some change, almost 3.
Right. So then you get out, and then what do you try to do at that point?
I got out, tried to get a job, tried to do the right thing.
And you were free for how long before you ended up getting locked up again?
I say like 9 months.
Really?
Yeah.
And the job thing didn't work out? It wasn't really your speed?
Hell nah. Definitely not, nah.
What was it? You
Taco
just hated
Bell.
You hated being
at
there?
Taco Bell. Tried to make that, tried to try something legit. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't really what it was, you know.
What do you think it was? You think you just don't have the personality where you can have a job?
Nah, it was more like I feel like I needed to get, I don't know, I just feel like I needed to get it out of my system or something. Because like when I caught all my juvenile charges, it was like all in the stretch of the same year. Same thing with my adult charges. When I became an adult, it's like I had like a 6-month stretch of just bam, 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 went to prison. You know, I feel like, you know, prison ain't the place to go, but I feel like that shit calmed me down a little bit.
Really?
You know, like, because now I play chess, not checkers. So it's like I think instead of jumping the gun, I realize that it's just me all the time jumping the gun. So instead, patience is key on my end now. So I'm just more, and I've been doing great.
Do you think do you think your biggest problem is just that you kind of tend to just spaz out when you get like offended or upset with the way somebody's acting and that sort of rage thing? Like, could you see yourself still having that if some random guy came up to you on the street talking shit, that you are still kind of liable to just wild out and fucking break their jaw and then be stuck going to court over it?
I mean, I hope not, you know, but it's happened, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, I try to think before, you know, because I already know, like, at the end of the day, it's going to be me doing the time like it was last time. You see? So it's like, it could happen, though. You know, I don't look for it, but I know what I'm capable of, you know?
So how much time you end up actually doing as an adult, though?
5.
5 total straight or in different?
It was straight. I got 60 months in prison. FSP was my sentence, but I had some county time before.
And what was that for?
For a stab charge
Oh,
also.
okay. You stabbed someone else.
Yeah, so I was
So
playing
you had a real habit, huh?
No, I was playing with knives before I even went to prison. You see, so that was kind of like, okay. Like
Right.
I was already into it.
That was just something that by default you had on you. Were people not really shooting each other in the neighborhood you were growing up in? It was more stabbings and fist fights were more likely?
Yeah, at a younger age, yeah, it was more like head up fades, fighting, and I would just take it to the next level and like stab people, you know?
Did you ever do it where you got away with it, or were you just getting caught?
Nah, I mean, I wasn't really good at getting away with it because I wasn't trying to get away with it. I was just doing however it happened, you feel me? And then I didn't care about getting away, you know? It just, people knew who I was, so it was like I was gonna get caught regardless.
Right.
You know, so it was like, it ain't like I was masked up.
And everybody was just telling where you're from, or what? Like it was just normal people snitching, or what?
Well, when you got someone laid up and they got a fucking shit bag in them, they got to wear a shit bag now.
You got somebody that bad?
Yeah. So when they got to wear like a shit bag and stuff, you know, their family members are gonna start talking. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just common sense.
Damn.
And
You ever feel guilty about that?
Nah, not really. You can't control, you know, what you hit, what arteries you hit. When you hit, you're just hitting, you know. So it's.
But if you were to stab somebody, what's the best way to go about doing it? Like you trying to, because I heard somebody say one time you go for the stomach and then you try to move it around in there as much as possible.
I mean, if you're trying to kill them, then probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
not just send a message.
Yeah, it all depends. Like in prison, people are trying to kill you, so it's like you ain't thinking about that. And then, you know, to them, inmates' lives don't really matter. Like you on the street, you stab someone, you know, you're facing that time. In prison, you stab someone, they're just gonna transfer you. You know, they're not giving you that time all the time when people get wet in Florida.
Florida's the only place you've been locked up at, though?
Yeah.
Because Jake, when he was talking about it, he made it sound like it was really like bad as fuck, like the worst prisons in America.
Because like I said, there's no segregation and stuff like that, you know. And then I know on the West Coast, you know, people talk about levels. Like, oh, I was on a level 4 yard, yada, 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 stuff like that. Down in Florida, we don't go off of yards, you know, like levels, I mean. You know, so when you look it up, like if you look up the 3 camps, my main camps, if you look up like Calhoun CI, Charlotte CI, and DeSoto Annex, if you look them up, them shits say level 5, 6, and 7. Like that's higher than level 4.
Right.
But down in Florida, the higher the level it is, the more like weak that shit is, basically, because it's more security.
Right.
You see, it's like you got center gate with officers. You got to walk with your hands on your head, and it's locked down. The officers run the compounds.
Right.
You know, when it's high levels. But when it's not, inmates run it, and that's where it's ratchet.
Yeah, well, Jake wasn't really even saying that the prisoners themselves were the reason it was so bad. He was basically just saying that the COs and shit were so terrible to the inmates that's what made it really gnarly.
No, yeah, that's another thing,
That's
too.
a big problem with it?
because they abuse their authority.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just, they can literally hide you and do what they want to do to you and cut out all ways of you getting contact in and contact out. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. Like, they literally give you a fucking slip in the mail every time you send letters out, and it'll come back saying unauthorized by the warden. And your peoples will call down there, man, well, my son this, my son that. He's in confinement, man. That's all we can tell you. You can't even tell them what happened to you, all healed up and stuff. Like, that shit gets serious down there, especially with the guards.
Do you ever have decent relationships with them? Like, because you seem like a pretty easy to talk to guy. Do you ever, like, just get cool with some of them, or are they just kind of all assholes?
Nah, there's some cool ones in there, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, like, there's way more dickheads than there is ones that are cool. You know, it all depends on how serious. It's all on how serious they take their job, if they're there just for the paycheck or if they're there to abuse their authority. Because a lot of them be bullies when they were kids, you know, and they want to take that shit out on people now. Or they were a bully in school when they were a kid, and now they want to still bully in the grown world, knowing that you ain't going to be able to do it out there in regular.
I mean, they're seeing all this criminal behavior, all this gangster shit, and then they're basically in a position where they get to be like the superhero and all that. Like, oh, you guys have problems with each other. I have problems with you, and I have a gun, and I get to punish you. And you can't do anything to me. Besides, well, you can, but you're going to get thrown in prison for longer. I mean, I guess I could see why some people would be drawn to it. In particular, someone who their life was going in such a way that they ended up working in a prison. You know, it's not like
it don't matter what
your life's not
hit.
going that great if you ended up being a CO.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see how that would be the kind of person that would want to fucking. If I was a correction officer at this point in my life, I would be the nicest fucking correctional officer because I don't have anything to be mad about. But I feel like a lot of these guys are like really unhappy.
Oh, yeah, they come home, I mean, you know, in the program or wherever it's at, and they take it out on the inmates from the shit that they go on in their everyday life. You know what I'm saying? It could be the simplest thing. You know, his wife could be cheating on him, you know, with a fucking white dude. And he come there, and now he hates all white inmates because his wife cheated on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, or dude's got a face tat who he caught his wife cheating on 191. He's got a face tat. It's just they take it out, and they're in a camp I've been to that didn't have crooked officers. That's everywhere you go, like planting knives on inmates, lying to inmates, making inmates get other inmates off the compound, sending hits. That's what they're really known for. You know?
Really?
Hell yeah.
They'll order murders.
They'll send hits. They'll make them
Not
come
murders,
after you.
but stabbings.
Yeah, stabbings.
Right.
Yes, yeah. That's why if you look, like there's so much in Florida. If you look it up, especially Charlotte CI where I was at, that shit's no joke, man. They got bodies after bodies.
Wow.
Like any camp, you just look up the mortality sheet on Google, and it'll show you it all with the people's mugshot and all that, who died and when.
Right.
And a lot of them's unexplained.
So you end up doing 5 years, and at this point, you really haven't had like much of a normal, you know, adulthood. Like you haven't really been on the outside that much as an adult, right? Like you're kind of being conditioned to just be used to all this prison shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to it, but it's like there's another way. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to make it to where I'm not still in that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to think the same. I try not to think the same, but it's like certain things, you know, when you institutionalized. You know,
When did you get out after that 5-year bid though?
Like 3 and some change ago. 3 years and some change.
So do you feel past it, or does it still feel like something that you can imagine yourself going back to?
I mean, if I had to go lay down, I could go lay down. You know, nobody wants to. I mean, I could do it again if I needed to. I'd have no choice if I had to. But I'm not searching for it, you know, and I can't get over the prison shit because I got a prison channel.
Right.
You know, and everyone loves the prison channel. And so I don't rely on YouTube. I literally do prison content for my subscribers, for my viewers.
Right.
So that's, my videos help them, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Oh, let's talk about the YouTube thing, but let's talk about that bid though. So was that a super notable 5 years for you, or did you manage to kind of like cool out and not have to be all in the bullshit?
Well, what it was is when I went to prison, I didn't, you know, most people go to prison and they calm down, you know, and then they'll come home and it gives them a little head start. So when I came home, I was nervous coming home because I didn't calm down in prison. I was in there doing whatever the hell I wanted to do, you feel me, and getting into shit. So I still was wild getting it out of my system while in there doing the time. Like I could have been home 18 months earlier than I was, but I'd always something with cell phones, get my date pushed back. They'd take all my game time from me and everything. Like I literally got in trouble over and over again for the same footage that I show people on my channel. Like I did time in the box for that shit for people to see it.
Right.
See? So it's like when I came home, I was nervous, and that made me fall back.
Right, because you filmed all this footage of people, popping perks and showing off their machetes and all this kind of shit, right? When did that become a thing? And did you put some of that out while you were still locked up?
Well, what happened is K-Frog TV is something that I said in my neighborhood. Like K-Frog TV started on the streets, like before I even went to prison. That's my name. So we'd put stupid shit up, and K-Frog TV, you know, stuff like that. So when I went to prison, I didn't want no one to forget about me. You know, so I'm gonna give them a show while I'm here. So I kept recording shit while in prison, just prison stuff to show like my life's a movie. It just keeps going.
How long did it take for you to get a phone in there?
It was quick. Like my first one was like 60 days at my first camp, and then I landed in the box.
And you get it from a CO or something?
There's all types of different ways, you know what I'm saying? It all depends.
And did you,
like I won't say that.
I know you didn't want to like really fully air that out.
I'm not, definitely not.
But a phone on the streets is like fucking, you know, $500 or $1,000. How much did it cost for you to get it in there?
I mean, well, it depends. Each camp's different, but the phones that we were getting were nothing but like a $15 track phone from like 7-Eleven and shit. But them shits were going for like $600.
$600 for the track phone.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
But you were filming like good iPhone footage, right?
Yeah, everything I had was a surfboard where you can, where you can slide it, and pictures, cameras and shit. Not one where you can't, you know, it was touchscreen. So,
right.
You know, and I just wanted to give everybody a show on the streets to show them how K-Frog's still living. So I just kept the footage.
But when it was small, like it didn't attract any attention at first because not that many people were seeing it?
Well, basically every single time that I went to confinement over a cell phone, I never got caught with one on me. They knew I had them though. Not one time did I get caught with a phone physically throughout my whole prison bid. But I've been to the box like numerous times over cell phones.
But so you just kept uploading shit and then you were good at...
Nah, I hid the footage, like sent it somewhere, sent it, stacked up on it. You know, just like that. Because I wasn't planning on going viral on YouTube or nothing like that with it. You know, I just was literally just was like, why ain't nobody doing this? This is a memory of your time, you know? Like, why the fuck? And no one had the nuts to do it.
And you hadn't even thought about the fact that they were going to see this eventually? At first?
Nah. And then I started getting more sloppy with it. And then the next thing you know, more people started saying K-Frog TV all on the institution. And anytime something would happen, someone would say it. That means pull the phone out. Let's get it on video and stuff like that.
And there's just such a reason for everybody to snitch in prison too. Like you doing that, it makes it so easy for somebody to tell on you, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why
it feels too risky.
Yeah, it is at the same time. But then when they know there's consequences and repercussions that come behind you being someone that tells, you being a snitch or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Down in Florida, you got people that tell and shit like that in prison, but they're gonna try to low key like drop a kite on you. Like, you know, they're not gonna just straight up they're gonna try to get away with it because if word gets around and them COs are so crooked, they're gonna tell you, oh yeah, you know, such and such is the one that got such and such in the box for his phone. Y'all eat him, get him off the pound.
Right.
Like, so it's just a dirty game. So at the same time, it's like your own sloppiness is 9 times out of 10 what's gonna get you caught in prison doing stupid shit.
Right. So then how did you end up going on the news to talk about that footage? That was after you got released?
Yeah, and that shit scared me off YouTube for a whole year.
Really? So what, like shit that you had uploaded a long time ago all of a sudden started getting a bunch of attention?
Nah, see, what it was is I went to confinement for the footage. I was in prison. I went to confinement for K-Frog TV. Did like 270 something days in the box and got transferred to another institution. By the time I got out of the box, I had less than 100 days left. That was the closest I've ever been to going home. So I decided I'm gonna fall back. No more phones, no more knives. And I'm at this new camp, I'm gonna just go home, you know? And then when I got out, I figured I'd put it on YouTube, K-Frog TV Volume 1, you know? And then I did the same thing with K-Frog TV Volume 2. I put them both on YouTube, and this shit hit the algorithm. And that shit, I was looking at it, and like in an hour, it was at like 35,000. And I'd refresh, it'd jump up 3 more thousand. So I'd put it on private. So then I'd take it off private. I did it like 8, 10 times. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, that when you get released from prison in Florida, you have to give them an address. You know what I'm saying? You got to give them an address, or they're gonna put you like a halfway house if you don't give them an address to be released at. So the address that I had, my people's house at the time that I put for me to have a release address, so I didn't have to go to a halfway house. The news surrounded their crib. Like the very next day, like it was literally from it being posted, it was only up for like 10 hours, you know what I'm saying? And then they were like, oh, we're not leaving till K-Frog come out. So I went over there and shit, and I was like, damn. And the dude just, you know, he just asked me questions and shit. Was like, oh, are you worried about going to jail? And I'm like, no, I mean, I already did the time for the same footage.
Right.
I already did time in confinement for it. So now I'm out on the streets, and then what are you gonna lock me up? Why they could have charged me with it when I was in prison.
So there's no chance that they could have arrested you and charged you with something that happened?
I'm pretty sure there's a chance, but they got like a statute of limitations or whatever. You got a certain timing. You know, when anybody gets caught with a cell phone in prison, they got a certain time to charge you or not.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that shit it spooked me off the internet. Like once that happened, I was like, oh hell no. Like I wasn't even thinking of doing YouTube or nothing like that. I just was posting it for myself.
Right.
And then a year later, I went on YouTube. People would come up to me and shit everywhere I go and stuff. Oh, you're that dude that was on the news. And I didn't like that.
Because it was super viral at the time?
Yeah, and I was fresh out of prison. Like, the last thing I wanted was attention. You know what I'm saying?
Especially the Florida cops, it just feels
I'm
like...
eating dinner and shit. Some girl wants to take a picture with me and stuff. I'm like, what?
The Florida cops, I just feel like are super likely to have a vengeful streak and don't want to get their revenge on you.
Nah, you see, and they feel like if you made them look some type of way or anything, they're going to try to take advantage of it.
I saw Milk made a video about it, and he said that basically calling you a snitch because you filmed that stuff and put it out. How you feel about that?
Yeah, that shit sounds good. I'll beat the dog shit out of Milk, man. For real,
Is it snitching? Like, you disagree with that?
Hell yeah, I disagree with that. 110%. Everyone that was in the videos with me was with the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a couple people got put in confinement, you know, for the videos. The people that was in the videos with me and shit, they got put in confinement, but they all knew what they signed up for when they were with it. You know what I'm saying? They all knew if we got caught, what was going to happen.
And to me, the thing is that nobody thinks that there should be knives in prison, right? Like, even the worst prisoners all kind of agree that it would be better if you got to go through prison without having a chance of getting stabbed, right?
Exactly, yep.
So, I mean, if anything, you put in that footage out is kind of like likely to maybe make the situation different. I don't know if the cops are even giving a fuck enough to be like, oh, we're gonna use this as an excuse to, you know, start cracking down on knives in prison. But
at the end of the day, they already know all that shit. The officers, they know what's in their prisons. They've been doing that shit for years before I was even thought of, years before anybody was even thought of. You know what I'm saying? They heard it all, seen it all. So it's just me. What it was is, you know, when you see documentaries and stuff like that on prisons, you never see them inside of Florida prison. You always see the outskirts of the institution.
Really?
So I was the first one in Florida that ever recorded inside of a prison. That's why, in Florida, that's why I went viral. You see?
It would have been better if you had just saved the footage till after you got out, right?
I was out. I was out when I dropped the shit
Oh,
on
but I
YouTube.
thought you said that you dropped it and then did extra time in the hole while you were in there.
No, yeah, because they knocked me off for the footage, but I never, not from YouTube. People were telling I had a TV show on the compound.
Oh.
You see, but they never found the actual footage.
Oh, okay.
You see
They
what I'm
just
saying?
they knew about it. Yeah.
They knew about it. Like my DRs, which is your disciplinary reports where they write you up, said K-Frog. He has social media's name this. Like they
Right.
knew my nickname. It was all in my DR, my write-ups.
Right.
You know, so I got put in there for footage.
Would it be fair to say you were having fun in there?
I mean, sometimes,
You
but
seem like you're making the best of it.
I mean, I had to because anybody, you know, you think about it. You want to do prison time? Would you rather do it whatever's most comfortable for you or have a hard bid? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't all peaches and cream. You know, there was a lot of fucked up situations. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of like tough times. At the end of the day, you know, you miss people. You know, everybody got the same 24 hours in a day. You got 24 like I got 24. But when you're locked up, that 24 feels like forever. Week feels like a month. Month feels like a year.
Right.
You know, like, and then when you go to confinement, them long stretches in the bid in the box, them long bids in confinement, they don't feel as bad as the shorter ones.
They don't.
You go back there for 30 days, them 30 days, boy, you're gonna be stressing them 30 days because you ain't gonna get comfortable yet until like your 21st day.
That's when you start to get comfortable in solitary.
Yeah, because you got so many things going on. It's like it's just mind blowing. They skimping you on the trays. They're bucking you on showers. You might get a ghost letter where they give you an envelope without your mail in there, saying that that's all your people sent you. Like you know, like different shit.
Wow.
So it's like the whole 30, you're basically gonna be back there stressing because it's gonna take you that long to get comfortable.
You're hungry as fuck. I mean, what do? You just fucking try to sleep as much as possible and
Sleep, work out.
look at the wall.
Look at the wall.
There just ain't
you know,
shit,
like,
right?
yeah, that's it basically. And then you got to be Class A in Florida, which means you got to wear your uniform.
The whole time.
Yeah, so like even during the summer or during the winter, you got to you're in the box drenching in sweat, and you got to wear this and have your bed made. You can't be under your covers and shit like that.
Really?
So you're back there just drenching, just losing weight just from sitting back there.
Do you feel like it had like a serious effect on your mental health? Like, did it really fuck you up?
No, not really. If you're someone that can't do time, then yeah, it can, you know, but I feel like, I like to be alone, you know, I like, talk to myself a little bit.
I've talked to some people who talk about solitary as in it's like this really kind of traumatizing experience. Like it just really kind of grinds down your
Banging
sanity.
on the doors and shit, everyone's screaming, making monkey noises and shit and gorilla noise. Like you're just back there and you just hear the noise. Every time they pop a door, it's like, blow. And it's just, a couple nights I remember looking up, like, when the lights finally would go out, and everything looked all tingly and shit. Like my blood pressure was going up. They had to give me like high blood pressure medicine and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's just, there's nothing you can do though. It's like, but after you learn to do it, then you're like, oh, this shit ain't nothing.
Right. So when you get back from that, aside from being on the news and everything, what are you trying to do in terms of a job or something like that? You have to get a job, right?
You're saying since I came home?
Well, yeah, it's when you got home from that 5-year bid.
Oh yeah, when I first got home, I had got me a job before the YouTube shit. You see, I was doing demolition.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I posted that shit online. It went viral, and I stayed off the line for a whole year. Wasn't on YouTube for a year.
You took the video down at some point?
No, I left
You
them
left
up.
it up.
I left them
Okay.
both up. But then by the time when a year went by, I looked, and then I seen my email, and it said you're eligible for monetization and shit like that. I guess from the views and the watch time and all that. So I was like, let me see if I can submit this shit and see if maybe I can make something out of YouTube. And then bought me my first laptop I ever had. Bought a laptop. Boom, put everything together. Got it in rotation.
So when you were locked up, you weren't thinking about the fact that there were all these prison YouTubers nowadays?
No, not at all. I just wanted my own footage of what I've been through, just to show what it's really like. Because it was mind-blowing how things you see on TV isn't what it's like.
Right.
So to me, it's like I want proof to show that it isn't like you see in movies. What you see online and all that shit be lies. So I was just keeping it for myself, and I put it on YouTube not thinking nothing of it. So it wasn't like planned to like go viral like it did, but to me it was just my own good to show I was hanging out. People joke me like, oh, you're probably getting your shit taken in there, or you people are beating you up. My footage shows no, I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It shows there's no way in hell someone who's getting their shit taken or beat up or tried can walk around and do what I was doing.
Was part of it that you wanted to maybe potentially help make a change in the prisons, like just by exposing exactly what was going on?
Nah, I can't say that
You
because
just
that
don't
shit,
think there's any chance?
Nah, it's never gonna change.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I didn't intentionally do the videos to help change shit. Nah, I can't even try to take credit like that. But my content I do now is for that. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't rely on YouTube. I do my videos because so many people say they help them, because I'm telling them what prison's really like in Florida.
You don't rely on it, but were you motivated by the money? Like at a certain point, you start
Nah,
realizing.
I've always learned how to get money in my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, you never have all your eggs in one basket. You know,
Right.
so you know, but it's money helps, of course, but and at the same time, it's like YouTube helped me. You know, because it keeps me out the streets. You see. So like by me being on there, me trying to have the best, realest content and stuff like that, you know, I'm learning things that I never learned, things I never knew, you know what I'm saying? And eventually it'll lead to bigger things, you know, like I got a gaming channel I be gaming too now. That started after me learning how to use shit, you know, so now I be doing the gaming as well. So it's like YouTube helped me, so I feel like it's only right that I do the videos to help the people who watch it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
When you got started, what was the kind of stuff that you were focusing on? Like when you actually started to make content for YouTube, like what did you start with? Just telling all your crazy ass stories?
A little bit of that, yeah. Like tell them what it's like that I know from my experience, like a situation that I've been through, something I seen go down. But I wanted to be different because that's what everybody does. Anyone who talks about prison and then they run out of content in like 5-6 videos.
That's what Jake was saying, is that,
Yeah.
you know, he started out with that shit and he realized real quickly, like, I got to figure out something else to make videos about because...
Yeah, you'll eventually come to, you'll slow down. You see, you have the little slow moments, right? So a lot of people, what they do is, since they're running out of the content and they ain't really got shit to speak on, you know, they'll drift. They'll do something different, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool. That's more power to them, you feel me? But me personally, the reason I don't, you know, is because my shit is for my subscribers. You know what I'm saying? I'd feel selfish if I were to get my subscribers up to where they're at and then just all of a sudden from K-Frog TV to K-Frog Cooking and just start cooking fucking videos like Snoop Dogg or something. You know what I'm saying? I'd feel 100% wrong. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of people out there who got a lot of views on showing how people eat in prison. Like, check it out. I'm going to make a spread. That feels like a lot of those concepts that people got 10 million views doing like 5-10 years ago or whatever. A lot of that shit's just kind of out the window at this point because.
And I ain't gonna lie, I seen a bunch of them, and majority of them we didn't have none of that shit in our.
Oh really?
Yeah, so it's like I'll see this shit and be like, I wish we had that. We don't have that.
The
you know what I'm
Florida
saying?
version would be a lot more depressing.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like walking in the Dollar General. Everything you see in Dollar General is basically like what we got.
For sure. So I mean, how do you keep it interesting still talking about prison shit while you're very far removed from it at this point? Like how do you approach it?
Well, just because I know there's people that rely on it. You see, because a lot of times I do the videos, and as long as it's getting someone's attention, you know what I'm saying, and the comments that people say in there and everything, it kind of motivates me, because it's like, yeah, here I had to go through prison, which is like, you know, it was me at my worst, you know, and they're entertained and they like the shit that I had to go through, you know what I'm saying? And really, it wasn't all fun and games, even though some of it was, but at the same time, the more people I could touch with the content, the more I'm going to keep on dropping it, you know? Because if I was focused on just me, if YouTube was just strictly about me, then of course I would have did what everybody else does and just run because they're still worried about themselves. They just drift. They just because it's all them. But my prison channel is for other people. It's for the viewers, you know what I'm saying? I can't make everybody happy. I say something to the left, people on the right feel some type of way. You know,
is it kind of odd still making content like that when a lot of people, like, they'll go in, they'll do 2-3 years in prison, whatever it is, and then they just kind of they move past it. They don't really want to talk about it. They want to get past it. For you, you've kind of got this whole business now, or not business, but this platform, and the whole audience is interested in that thing. They're not really like, if you were to just be making happy videos of you with your kids or whatever, doing fun family shit, going to a water park, I mean, they didn't really subscribe for that, right? That might be a challenge to get them to even give a fuck, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, a lot of times the shit that'll make you happy the viewers ain't feeling. You know what I'm saying? Or it either goes one way or the other. Either they just want negativity. You got people that follow just for that negative energy, you know, that want to see some shit go down, that want to amp some shit up, you know, stuff like that. Or you got the ones that really like you as a person. You get what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it don't really matter how many viewers somebody has or anything like that. You can't force no one to subscribe if they don't like that individual. You see what I'm saying? If they ain't feeling who that person is, they're not going to hit that button, subscribe. So with my content, I do it for my viewers,
right?
You know, because it's strictly, my prison shit's just for them. I'm more into my gaming, I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to, people are like, oh, why you don't do reactions and this and that? I would, like I said, I feel like I would be trying my viewers if they rode with me this long, and then I just switch on over to some shit like that. I'd end up making how I got K-Frog TV and K-Frog Gaming. They're both on YouTube. I'd end up making K-Frog reactions or so. I'd make a whole nother channel before I just switch my whole shit. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of like the prison YouTuber type dudes sort of become like, I'm gonna react to street shit in general. Like, I'm just gonna talk about other people's politics. This rapper gets killed, boom, I'm talking about it, I'm giving my opinion on it, yada yada. But a lot of times when you watch it, you're like, this video is 10 minutes long, and you definitely didn't have 10 minutes worth of shit to say.
Majority of them that are actually considered part of the prison genre are not even the prison genre. You know, it's so watered down and different now that they're in a different category. You get what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Like, there's, you know, I can't really think of anyone that I feel like, oh, is 100% with prison shit. You know what I'm saying? They just doing something totally different, but they claim their prison genre. You feel me? So I just, you know, I want to be different. So I'm gonna keep going how I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Like, people make vlogs. Imagine if you were a vlogger in prison. It's just like the worst recipe for videos you could imagine, because every single day would be exactly the same.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, crazy shit would happen, but you know.
And then like with reactions, you know, all it takes is, you know, copyright. There goes your channel. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, why would I grind with people who were truly there for me, get up here, and then swap out on them, and then the few that do stay because they like me, I get banned, boom, 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 get hit with some copyright strikes later on down the line.
Have you had that happen yet?
I've had a copyright strike.
Just
2
a
times.
strike, not they haven't managed to take your shit down?
Nah, not my channel, but Pino got me struck.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you post?
I'll show you right now.
Oh boy, here we go.
Hold on.
This is No Jumper, the podcast where people come to expose Pino.
Hold on. Yeah, so
were you guys cool at some point?
Yeah. We'll get into that first if you want. But I'm going to bring this and I'm going to add to the paperwork party.
Oh,
Feel
Jesus
me?
Christ.
But anyway, so, yeah, you know, me and him, we ended up falling out or whatever because he was telling, you know, and I never knew this. I'm the one that brought him onto YouTube.
And are you talking about the situation that 1090 exposed when he came on here, where he handed me the paperwork that said that Pino allegedly snitched?
This is different paperwork.
Okay.
This is prison paperwork.
Okay.
This is from inside prison.
How'd you end up bringing him to YouTube in the first place?
Okay, because I knew him, you know, like I did time with him. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when I got out and I first was doing the prison shit, you know, I'm going to keep it real with people who I feel like, you know, ain't got shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can help you, I'll help you. So, you know, I got him his first interview, you know, on the 23-in-1 channel. I got his first interview on there, shit like that. And he speaks how we met and everything when we were locked up. 2 Bloods were going to jump him. And I put my shoes on and ran up there and was going to back him up and didn't even know him. But it was just on some shit like they were saying no white boys get a one-on-one in this quad. You see what I'm saying? So, well, y'all can't jump him then. If you got to fight me then. Not, you know, even in the interview he did, he mentions it, how Fraud ran up there. I didn't know him from a can of paint, yada, yada, yada. So I got him more out there, you know, on YouTube and shit like that. And the next thing you know, his paperwork ad came out. So I hit him up, you feel me? And I told him, what's up with this paperwork shit? You know what I'm saying? He started asking me if I can go get it for him and this and that. And, you know, it ain't go down like it's saying. And then I even said to him, I said, if your brothers up the road knew about this paperwork, they would try to eat you, ain't it? They would try to flip you. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, you're right. You see? So that means there's something hidden there. Why would they try to flip you if it isn't accurate? You see? So the next thing you know, 1090 dropped the video. Once he dropped the video, everyone's gonna come straight to K-Fraud TV next because I'm the one that brought him out. You feel me? So now everyone's like, oh, is Fraud condoning this? What's Fraud got to say about this? And yada, 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 you feel me? So I did what I needed to do. I dropped the video. saying the same shit. You
And
know?
was it a weird situation for you because you're friends with him, you've got love for him, but then you find out about this thing that...
Yeah, because he was my dog. So it wasn't like he was like some dude I didn't really know and I just did a video on him. He was my dog. And then for him to like not tell the truth and keep it real with me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know, like we said, you either delete your channel or whatever, or you feel me, we got to drop the videos. So then after the shit all went out, he wrote me rapping, da-da-da-da. I wrote him back. I got all the text messages and shit where I told him, I ain't the one to rap to, you feel me? Because you know how I'm living. He knows me, you know?
So he tried to get tough with you, or?
Yeah. Well, at first, nah, he was like, you and 1090 can have that YouTube shit. I'd rather, you know, delete my channel than to, you know, go through with someone I was actually cool with. But then he put his channel on hidden or deleted it and signed back in within 30 days or however it was. So he got his channel back, you feel me? But even though he texted all that, 1090 still dropped the video. You feel me? Even though he agreed, you know, to take his shit down and all that before it all came out, he just would have been missing. No one would have known where Pino went no more. We kind of like gave him a opportunity.
So that was how it was agreed upon. You and Jake both agreed to not drop the videos if he sort of disappeared from the internet.
No, we didn't put the videos together yet. So we were gonna do a video if he didn't straighten it. You know, because at this time it was like we gotta hold our own accountable. What we mean by our own is just Florida. Doesn't mean like he's one of my homeboys, like in my circle, like every day type shit. I seen him a couple times on the streets, you know, but it was more like we gotta hold him accountable regardless, because he's speaking for Florida channels, and I'm the one that brought him out on YouTube.
It is kind of on you, huh?
Yeah, and then being 1090 became dogs, you know what I'm saying? Like we used to FaceTime every day on the phone and shit, you know, so it was like I was in the middle of it, you know what I'm saying? But I can't go against with how I was brought up or what I stand for because he fucked up, you know what I'm saying? You know, so at the same time, you're wrong, you feel me? You're lucky that we gave you the opportunity to just, you know, get up out of there, you feel me? And then it didn't go like that. So then once he wrote me, he started rah-rah, y'all want smoke, da-da-da-da, selling out and all this shit. I told him to pull up. I said, you already know how I'm living, pull up. I'm not with the Instagram or the rah-rah shit. He brought it straight to the internet, which is the total opposite.
And you were both in Florida at the time, and you wanted to just fight?
Still to this day, he lives like 20 minutes away from me. You feel me?
If he had pulled up and fought and you guys got a fair one in, would that have made it so you could be kind of cool with him in a way, or would it still be too fucked up because of the paperwork?
I tried to do that already. I already tried to do that.
Yeah.
And all he did was like take my messages and try to post them online, use them against me type shit. You know, like when I told him to pull up the first time, he was like, oh, say no more. So then I wrote him and I told him, look, I said, I got shit to do tonight. If you finna pull up, let me know for real. If your ass ain't coming, I'm not finna just sit here and wait all night. He don't respond. So I wrote back and was like, you know what? You got that, bro. I said, sarcastically. I said, you got that, bro. What I look like beefing with someone over their paperwork. Feel me? Someone that I already told.
Right.
He takes that, goes on the internet, makes it look like I was scared to fade him. So then I text him again, and I said, bro, you know that was sarcastic, bro. I'll beat the dog shit out you, bro. You feel me? And then everything I was writing, I'm trying to get him to fight. So then one other time, he was rapping, saying he took his day off of work to slide up on me. But then when he's doing all this, you know, I don't know none of this shit. Like, I ain't got him on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or none of that. So it's like he's doing all that for the people that are watching. So everybody knows what you're doing and saying but me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make a video, frog this, frog that. Oh, I'm here looking for frog. And, you know, probably a couple hundred people will send it to me, but I got to go check, like, my message requests. You know what I'm saying? And then it'd be 4 days later. Like, I'm just not seeing a video that you're meant for me 4 days ago. But then all I kept saying is I still got the same phone number that I had while in prison. You see what I'm saying? Like, he knows my number. Instead, he posted it and I had people call me and shit all around the world. You know, like different. It was more like internet-wise. So when I said keep it in the streets, he wanted it in the internet. You know? And then when he got into fucking Mighty Mouse was like, all right, in the ring, like you've been telling everyone, no, I'll keep it in the streets. See, so he's gonna do whatever the opposite is.
Everybody's picking out fights, though, right? Because
he
was out here with Mighty Mouse trying to get Milk to pull up to a boxing ring.
That's what I'm
Milk
saying.
wouldn't slide through, but then, I mean, shit, I'm sure Mighty Mouse is probably trying to fight everybody because he's fucking Mr. Anabolic over there.
And Mighty Mouse, he didn't even, at first, he was hitting me up all on lives and shit, saying, before all the shit came out about him, he was like, oh, bro, we need to work together. He was on a fucking treadmill while talking to me. You know, he's like, oh, we need to work together, yada, 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 you know, and there was never no tension. So he made a video saying that Pino called me out, you know, to fight him on his channel. So I sent him an email video where it was my response, where I said, man, you don't see everybody out here trying to fight 6ix9ine, you feel me? I said, I'm not promoting that rat. That's straight up. I'm not with that shit. Keep it in the streets is what I said. I'd rather do it on the street level rather than what I look like going and fighting him with gloves on. And then at this time, it then got way deeper because in the middle of it all, you know, so much shit said, and you know, when someone insults you so much and the things they say, you don't want to give them an opportunity to fight them in the ring with fucking gloves on.
Yeah.
You know, spoke on my dead dad, you know, spoke on my old girl with cancer when she was alive, my kids, my neighborhood, my homeboys, you know, every single thing possible. And then you want me to put gloves on and fight you like a promotion fight. Not on that shit, you see? And then I sent that to Mighty Mouse, and then Mighty Mouse posted another video of him talking shit about me. And then he was like, oh, if K-Frog wants to respond again, I never responded again because now he's just a middleman. What I look like sending you videos like you know me. So I never responded. And then he started dissing me with Pino. You feel me? And then that's just how it all went. It just because I wasn't responding. You get what I'm saying? But it was just, I'm not trying to do no internet rah-rah.
You think that his fans have actually turned on him over all this stuff?
Which one?
Pino?
Nah, I mean, you know, 6ix9ine still has fans, don't he?
A lot of fans. I mean, he's kind of the biggest,
No,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
biggest evidence to
No,
suggest
and
that if you're funny enough or charming enough or whatever, some percentage of the fans aren't going to give a fuck.
And at
right?
the end of the day, you know, people gonna fuck with who they fuck with, whether they solid or not, you know. But I'm not gonna go against, you know, what is facts, you know, and what's true. You know what I'm saying? Like with the messages, he was begging me to take the video down. I said, I ain't never taking the video down. That shit's staying up. You feel me? And then next thing you know, when I told him, oh, I'll slide towards you right now and call you on FaceTime to show you I'm by myself. We'll meet up and we can fight right now. He's like, oh, what gym? Are we using gloves and all this? I said, no, not no gym, none of that. Like, because he don't live far from it. You see what I'm saying? But he literally wanted it for the clout. It's like he's the opposite. You got someone that wants publicity, wants the attention. The negative shit don't, it gets you views, but that shit don't get you loyal shit, you know, that don't get you, that just makes to where later on down the line, majority of the people that are watching you want to see you get knocked out. Same thing with Milk, you feel me? A lot of them people that follow him, man, they can't wait to see them get whooped because here you got these two people that'll make so many videos dissing and rapping about everybody like they can whoop anybody. I can't whoop everybody, you know what I'm saying? And I don't talk like I can. I could lose a fight today and my YouTube shit still ain't over with, but them, they done talk so highly and stirred so much shit that if they lose, it might crumble their whole fucking channel. You see what I'm saying? Because they speak so highly like they can't be whooped.
Yeah, but I guess it also has to do with how you go about it, because I had people telling me that C-Mac's career was over after he got DP'd. And I think the opposite kind of happened, where like all of a sudden people got way more interested in him because he did something that if he was a fake gangbanger, he would have never done. He would have never gone and handled his issue like that if he was like not really what he was saying he was. Like the fact that he went and did that proved that he was what he said he was. So that kind of makes people more interested,
And
you
then
know?
at the end of the day, it's like, it don't matter how many people you beat up. It don't matter how hard you think you are. You know, none of that shit. When there's black and white on you, and you police, you know, and you snitched on someone, that shit's out the window. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in prison, you know, like, if his brothers would have knew about that, he knows he would have got flipped. You see, but that's how it is in Florida. They don't paperwork check like that. A lot of people go through prison, and they talk like they've been through them situations, and they talk like they was really in there slanging iron and hurting people and shit like that. They may have been in the jungle, but they wasn't doing no jungle acts. You see what I'm saying? They may have been in some reckless camps, but they wasn't putting them knives in no one themselves. You see? So it's like, and they'll come home and they'll talk like everything was this, everything was that. Because you think about it, everybody had phones in prison, they say. Everybody was this in prison, everybody was that. Well, there's a reason why I'm still the only one unaffiliated, no ganging, no gang member that has my footage. These people haven't even posted pictures of themselves in cells. You see what I'm saying? But they had phones. They robbed people for phones. This is the type of shit that they'll say in their videos.
Right.
You know, people pay $3 just to send a picture to their family. You ain't even have $3 to send a picture of you in your blues and your prison uniform to your peoples throughout your whole bid. You wasn't in there doing shit then if you didn't even have $3 to do that. All your brothers that had cell phones, you couldn't even get on them phones because they ain't fuck with you like that. Damn. You see? So it's like, you would think now the ones who talk so highly, like what they did in prison, how they was, and they had phones, they did this, there's no way to prove that other than like how I got pictures of me, videos of me, kicking on the door while in confinement.
I saw that.
You know, like real footage, you know, but I didn't want to push the image as if prison's a good place. You know, it isn't. It was just, I was just recording what I've been through, you know. But people want to turn it into something it isn't, you know, and they want to do the little YouTube beef and try to extort. Like, what's his name told 1090, give me 10 bands or I'm dropping the video.
Who said that?
Pino.
Oh, really?
He told 1090. Yeah, he said, tell him I want 10 bands or I'm dropping the video of him getting whooped. Man, yeah, he dropped that video. 1090 is viral as fuck. You feel me? So I was like, at the end of the day, he thought that shit was finna backfire on like 1090. Man, that shit backfired right on Pino, bro. He wake up every day looking online, looking like this motherfucker blew up, bro.
But that was a crazy trick that Jake kind of played, because he got in that situation, kept his mouth shut about it for forever, and then finally told the story on here and got so many views.
Except for when he went live right after it happened.
Right, yeah, okay. Bleeding. Yeah. He didn't really give like a sober account of it until much later.
Yeah,
but he also, when he's telling the story, he's basically acting like he was going to do something, and then Pino's friend had a gun pointed at him.
Oh,
Jake was basically saying that without saying that.
Yeah.
Because I know he doesn't want to say that because that would make him feel like a snitch.
Yeah.
But he says everything else that would lead you to that conclusion. And I thought that was pretty interesting and explains a lot of why he might have basically got fucked up in that fight and then have just had to walk away at a certain point.
At the same time, you know, a lot of that shit was chopped anyways. Like the video that's out there on him and shit, you know, like I said, me and 1090, we don't speak like that or whatever, but I text him and shit, you know, shit like that. But I wrote him. I sent him 1090 on the Cash App or PayPal, 1090 one time and said, hey, bro, even though me and you don't talk, bitch, congratulations on your what's it called. I ain't no hater or nothing like that. I still wish you the best. If 1090 walked in this bitch right now, I'd embrace him and start roasting him. Like, what's up, bitch?
Yeah, I feel like you guys would be a good pair. I could see you guys having like a podcast together.
You know, me and him, when we were cool, we were talking about that shit. We were planning things out, all types of stuff.
The woods.
The woods. You know, but like, see, I ain't, you know,
lost in the woods.
Yeah, it's like he's like one of the people I fuck with, even though we don't talk like that. I'd fuck with 1090 though, you know what I'm saying? Like in real life and shit, you know, I ain't got nothing bad against him. He went one way, I went the other. You know, it was just what happened between me and him was like, after the shit went down with him and Pino, everybody was hitting me up like, oh, what are you gonna do now, Frog? That he ran up on. Like if I had to go find Pino because of the 1090 situation, and I was on some shit like I can't even find him on my own situation. So I said, man, fuck them both. They're one's a blood, one's a Crip. They do their thing. I'm a non-affiliate. You know what I'm saying? Like that's supposed to be some gang shit. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get me in the middle when it's like, you feel me?
Did you see the Island Boys saying that 1090 Jake's a fake blood?
Nah. I'll beat the shit out of both of them, though. Them Island Boys, them boys are clowns.
He said that they're fake blood, so then they said, he's a fake blood. I ain't never heard of a white blood. I'm like,
them dudes are something else, boy. Them boys are clowns.
They're representing your state very well right now. They're like the fucking mayor and the governor of your state right now.
But look, everywhere they go, people want to fight them, though. They try to put on an image like, man, if they ever get arrested, boy, they're going to be breaking that shit off, boy. People going to be making them pay rent.
I've been to Hawaii a bunch of times. Amazing place. I know it gets lit out in the woods or in the fucking jungles of Hawaii and shit. But they got in a huge brawl in like the nice ass part of Hawaii, which I've been to a bunch of times. And I was so surprised when I saw that they got into it there because it's just such a chill area. And I'm like, bro, you guys really need security everywhere now because this is just going to keep happening, right?
Yeah, well, it is because they push an image, you know, and then, you know, there's been videos and shit out on them about snitching and different shit, you feel me? So it's like, people are going to always try to come at you some type of way, you know? They're not going to like you, you know, just of the assumptions of that, you know what I'm saying? That is something that you don't play with, you know what I'm saying? That's something like, if there's black and white that you told, you know, people ain't going to respect you because of that shit. And then you got videos of them crying online and all this different shit, people running down on them.
Smoke Perp and Lil Pump or the Island Boys?
Oh, what are you saying? Like what?
Who do you fuck with more in terms of ambassadors for your state?
That's a tough one. No, I don't fuck with none of
them.
But
Island Boys make you yearn for the good old days of Lil Pump.
I don't really fuck with Lil Pump either, man. No, hell no. He's the one that's that song Gucci Gang?
Yeah.
Yeah, that fucking dude, bro.
That was a moment. When that shit came out, that was hard. Yeah. The Island Boys have still never had a good song. That's the problem. And no offense, but that's kind of the whole problem with them.
A lot of them, people were laughing at that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're just funny, you know, and they think they're the most gangsterous and shit like that. But before they actually blew with the little Island Boy shit, I had them on Instagram, and I was trying to battle them. I was trying to battle the main one.
Fly Soldier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking about, I'll rap you right now, You feel me? And shit like that. And he was like, I don't know who the fuck that is. Everybody was saying, add frog. and shit like that.
That was their whole thing for a long time before they got put on, was that, or before the Island Boys thing really took off, is that they were just arguing with everybody on Instagram Live.
See, now, well, Pino thinks he's one of the Island Boys. He'll be the next fucking one if he can. He'll be on there with them. You feel me?
That'd be a good look.
So, right, let me go ahead and get into this. This is for you, though.
Oh.
So, me, I ain't got no copy or nothing. But anyways, this right here is what Florida prison paperwork
You didn't
looks like.
highlight it like 10 and Jake did,
Nah, but
okay.
anyways, this came out about Pino, all right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you feel me? Now I'm gonna go ahead and touch topics on it a little bit since we're doing a paperwork party, right?
So the first one, statement of facts. On July, whatever, at approximately 1 hours, while acting in the capacity of academic instructor, I observed inmate Smart Brandon, aka Pino, masturbating with a fully erect and fully exposed penis while staring directly at me. Pino is in violation of the lewd and lascivious exhibition by internally masturbation, intentionally exposing genitals in a lewd or lascivious manner, or committing any other sexual act in the presence of a staff member, contracted staff member, or visitor. So basically, you got caught beating off.
Yeah, okay.
While staring
now, this
out
is the
of-
thing,
out
though.
of
When
guard.
that first came out, he said that he caught that DR. Why we ain't read the DR? He said, I caught that DR because it says I grabbed my dick in the lewd and lascivious manner and told the CO to suck my dick, da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
That's what he was saying to the viewers, trying to cover it up. So then I said, fuck it. I'm going to find out how you do it. And there was a link where you could pay like $15 to get in there or whatever.
Okay.
You can't copy the link, though, because it's like clerk of courts or whatever, so you can only pay for copies.
Right.
And I dug in there, boom, found that.
But, I mean, they could have just said that he was masturbating with a fully erect penis when in reality he just said, suck my dick, right? Like, are we really trusting her to say exactly what happened?
Well, no, that's the thing. See,
Maryland?
No, but then he would have said his DR. He wouldn't have said for us to look the DR up and it say that. You get what I'm saying? If it did, then it would say he grabbed his dick in a fully manner and said, suck my dick, da-da-da-da. You feel me? He said if you look in the paperwork, why y'all didn't read the DR, because it says I grabbed my, he said that's what his DR would say.
So what is your conclusion based on this? You think that he's just a creep who likes masturbating and staring at the CO?
Nah. I don't think that at all. But the fact is, it's like you can't believe shit he says because he lies so much. You get what I'm saying? So it's like your brothers didn't know about your real paperwork. Why? Because it was true you told in the paperwork. You lied about this online to your peoples, saying, oh, nah, if you look it up, this is what it says. Why'd you lie to cover it up? Because it was true, you see? Now, the reason I brought this whole thing up is because when I did a video on that, he copyright struck me. You feel me? Claimed it wasn't his paperwork, but he copyright struck me, right? And then I got like 4 or 5 emails with his name all on it. I posted that on my community tab and all that shit showing. So then I had to redo it again. And then I kept getting emails that he was trying to invade identity shit or whatever, tried to fuck me up like that. You feel me? The one strike I got, I had to go to copyright school over that shit
Really?
online. Yeah. Well, the first strike, though, was over K-Fraud TV Volume 3 because it was harmful and violent shit.
What did you show in it?
Fights, all types of different stuff. But the first one and second one I dropped before I was in partnership with YouTube.
Right.
So they allowed it. That's why they're still up. But Volume 3, I was already monetized. So when I dropped it, that's when they fucking hit me with the, what's it called?
I hate that, how they can
But that was because my
standard.
first time being copyright struck by someone, and the only time was through that paperwork right there. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like at the end of the day, people are gonna fuck with who they fuck with. But you done did so many flawed things. Now there's people in prison that I know that are savages, that'll whip they shit out on a female guard or whatever. You feel me? But they're not gonna lie about it, and they're not gonna try to cover it up. If it wasn't wrong, why lie? See what I'm saying? If you felt like it really wasn't wrong doing that, why lie what it would say if we got the paperwork?
Yeah,
See what
like
I'm saying?
on the streets, if you're just jerking off and staring somebody in the eye, that's about the weirdest thing you could ever imagine.
And then when they scream, you go faster and shit. You know what I'm
But
saying?
I feel like in prison, it's such a fucked up place that just might fly. Like, I don't know.
But
So
it's
what
like, it would
else
have
are you
been
doing?
different. It would have been different if he was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? she lied on me when I did that, and you know what I'm saying. If he would have said he grabbed his dick and said that, but then in the DR she said that I was doing that, but he didn't. He said the DR would say he grabbed it in a low and civilist whatever manner and saying something I did. The DR don't even say that, so that shows it was facts. You see, why would you lie?
He should have skipped the masturbating and just hit her with the Glock dookie.
That's exactly what he should.
Just my opinion.
You know what I'm saying? Really.
Where did the milk beef come from?
Oh man, that dude, he just was a troll. You know, he just came out of nowhere, really, in all reality. You know, he just went to shooting at everybody that was in the prison genre, you know. And he just would run his mouth, you know, and he don't know no better. He thinks he's untouchable and shit like that. You feel me? But at the same time, you know, he stays so far away. You know, that's the only thing that's saving him. If he was in Florida, he would have been ran up on probably by a bunch of people. But you know, he hides up there and just raps.
But that's why you came out here? You're milk hunting?
I was milk hunting for 3 days. I ain't gonna lie.
How was that?
I ain't gonna lie.
A lot. It seems like a pretty common hobby out here.
Listen.
Different YouTubers come to downtown LA and just sort of hang out and see if they can run into
I know
them.
when everyone else came out here that was going through with him and shit, they made it known they were coming, you feel me? And then he went missing when they were here. Me, I figured, nah, I'll just come in maybe 3-4 days earlier than the interview, and you know, I'll just get a hotel right on his street, park my car, my rental right there in his fucking public parking right where he lives at. I go there like 20 times a day to get the whip because they charge so much for parking at the hotel I'm at. They want like 50 each day just to park. But where his shit's at, it's only $10. You feel me? So it's like, and it gives me a reason to walk over there. Like I walked all through downtown LA the last 2 days and shit like that, just hoping.
Just getting familiar?
Just hoping. Like, man, I done looked the worst. Like, okay, it's only a fucking battery charge, if anything. You know, I done bring extra money for bond, like all this shit, you know, because literally he's one of the people that deserve ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? Like he talks shit about people that he don't know nothing about. You know, like my dad, you know, he spoke and made the whole thing about my dad being dead, post his obituary paper, like shit like that. People you don't even know nothing about. That's you know, ugly. People talk about their dead ops as, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. But it's ops they actually knew. You know what I'm saying? You talk about someone's dead loved ones and you don't know them. You don't even know me. You get what I'm saying? But he's the type, you know, you've seen it, anything for views, you know, so, you know, and, you know, him and Pino are the same. They both rep the same shit, whatever, bro. And they're both identical. One's from the West Coast, one's from the East Coast, bro. Like 1 minute they're riding a wave of someone, and then next they're making videos about them. That's just how it goes.
YouTube be like that.
But patience is key, though, you know what I'm saying? So it's all like, you know, I ain't, you know, but that dude's a clown.
Those are your only two notable YouTuber beefs that you've gotten into, or you mostly stay clear of all that?
Nah, I stay clear of all of it. To me, I ain't beefing with nobody because if ain't no one dying on my end or their end, if we ain't sliding to kill no one, then it ain't beef. That shit's just gossip.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Like literally, like if you ain't sliding on me and jumping out where I'm from, or if I ain't fucking jumping out catching you, then that shit ain't real beef. It's just people say things for views.
You never had it like turned into a real life situation?
Like from something off YouTube?
Yeah.
Nah.
You're not like walking outside in the morning thinking about the comment section, looking around, see if there's any commenters?
Nah, it's just, you know, people tend to they think that the negativity is the way to go, you know, so they think the more they rap, the more people will like them. But at the end, it's like, when them hands come, when it come time and that ass whooping comes, because there's no expiration date on one of them. When that shit comes, boy, just remember, them same people you was trying to entertain, they gonna be laughing at your stupid ass over it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's just what it is. Like, I try not to feed into the rah-rah, because I know motherfuckers gonna be talking for 10 years from now. Same shit. The ones that talk shit now, they been doing the same thing 10 years from now. And eventually, they gonna come across they got a reputation they have to keep. You see? So it's like, when it does go down, you gotta prove that you're with that shit. You know, you can't just talk like you fucking Conan and then all of a sudden curl. Like, you know what I'm saying? When someone tries to approach you and all of a sudden you're all spooky and scary. You know, that's why that shit ain't really.
I feel it. So what else are you? What would you say your goals are? And do you see YouTube as like a big focal point of what you're trying to do? Like, are you trying to really go hard on the content, or are you kind of over it?
I mean, I'm not over it. You know, I'm gonna keep on dropping content and shit. But I've been shifting. Like I said, I do the gaming. You know, gaming is the future, man.
So you live stream on there, and then do you have clips up on the channel as well?
I live stream, and then I do like uploads and shit. But since I've been able to live stream, at first I started with clips till I got monetized.
What games do you play?
I play like Dead by Daylight, Call of Duty, you know, shit like that. You feel me? Like scary games. I like shit like that. And then spent like fucking 15 grand on my gaming setup or whatever, like nice, good shit, you know?
Nice.
So like, I got loyal people over there, you know what I'm saying? Like my comment section is 100% different over there than it is on the prison channel.
Really?
Yeah, because you know, when I first did the prison shit, you know, I was I was giving people the wrench and shit like that. And then a lot of them would be banning people who were donating, you know, like haters and shit. So it's like, I know these things now from
Giving
experience.
them the wrench. I never called it that before, but that's pretty good.
You see what I'm saying? So like now I know, but it's just a better vibe on K for All Gaming. Like me over there, it's like that's my relax.
Your safe place.
My
where
relaxed
you kind of
time.
just be yourself and just chill.
Man, I
and-
done lost relationships and all over this YouTube shit, man.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro.
Off
you know,
of-
talking shit about me.
Really?
Hater, like best friend, fucking female, and once a fan turn into a hater, you know, all that's how it is.
That's a weird thing to watch happen. Watch
Like,
a
damn,
fan
you
turn
burnt
to a
the
hater.
food, baby. Well, fuck you and your YouTube. What the fuck's that got to do with the food? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, shit like that I done dealt with. You
Dude,
know?
I missed the time period in my life where I could just kind of stream and it was just whatever. Now I got the fucking kid and there's so much shit to do that it's like to actually find a block of a couple hours to go and stream. Just
Yeah.
feel like such a fucking gift at this point in my life.
I know, right? It's a getaway. It just feels, you know what I'm saying? And mine's when it's with the gaming, not with the prison content.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The prison content shit, when I do all that or whatever, it's, you know, that feels like a job, you know? But the gaming, I could be on that however long it is, and it's worth it, you know, to me. I enjoy it, and it keeps me out of the streets and out of trouble, like literally. Like I say that all the time. Like if it wasn't for the gaming and stuff like that, because even with the prison genre, I was still out there doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? Still getting into shit.
An idle mind is a big fucking risk for somebody like you or me, probably. Like, if you just give me too much free time, there's a very good chance that I could either get into something really positive or really negative.
Exactly.
You know, and so that's why with the YouTube thing, like, you know, AD, who co-hosts on the podcast with me and shit, he got on Twitch. And all of a sudden, I see him where he don't even really want to go to the club anymore. He's like starting to realize, like, oh, I could stay in and make a couple $100, $1,000, et cetera. Like, why the fuck am I going to go to the club and waste a bunch of money when I could be like basically tuned into my fans and making some money? I mean, it's kind of a tough decision.
And it feels good when you're putting the shit together. Like when you see like what you started with to now what you have. You know what I'm saying? Like your whole gaming setup, you know, like it just feels good. You want to upgrade more and more.
And you're not outside taking risks. Because
No, exactly.
if you're just standing outside, like, and it's weird because it's kind of like the normal human thing that a lot of people we know did when we were young. Like when I was living in New York all the time, all those years, a big thing that people would do at night would just be to go be outside. They would just stand out on the street, kick it, drink a beer, smoke, chill, like see what's going to happen. You know, like there's a lot of risk in that, which is kind of a shame that I'm talking about like living life and just being a normal human being.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're standing out there, you can get in a fight, you can get robbed, you can have the cops run up and search you and give you a hard time about God knows what. For a lot of people who might end up in a situation, if you're just in the basement on the computer, I mean, shit, it's way better.
Nah, and I love when people jump on my comments and shit. They're like, hell yeah. Or if they jump on my prison channel and they be in the comments, oh, you streaming on the gaming channel tonight? So it shows, you know, they look forward to that shit. You know what I'm saying? I have people send me videos and shit about themselves. You changed my life. You don't even know, you know. So it's helping other people. You know, I just had to go through the bullshit, you know, in order to learn to do good for other people, you know?
Definitely.
That's basically the only way I could look at it, you know? So now I just do the gaming to stay out of trouble, sell my merchandise, shit like that.
Oh, shit, I didn't even realize you were wearing your own shirt. Let me see. Oh, wow, that's hard, actually.
It's like the Miami Dolphin logo.
That's hard. That's a good one right there.
Right? You know? But like, I just, that and then just people look forward to the game and shit, you know?
You ever lick a frog?
Never.
I heard you could, like, there's frogs that if you lick them, you can hallucinate.
Nah, hell no. Not me. I ain't, you did that before?
No, but I heard about it. I heard about the toad licking. That, like, they do it like a fucking
There's
ceremony
probably
and shit.
videos on YouTube of people
Oh, yeah.
doing that shit, I bet.
Definitely,
Right? I ain't
yeah.
gonna lie, they probably is, right?
That'd be the best thing ever if you did that. You get fucked up?
Nah, hell no.
You're off of
I
that?
don't even smoke.
You don't smoke?
I
You don't drink?
Smoke. I'll drink occasionally, but not that much, because I get violent when I drink. So
Really? I can see that for sure, yeah.
Like back in the day when we were younger, we'd go out and drink and shit, and then we'll either get into it with someone or get into it with each other.
Right.
You know, and that's just how it always is in my neighborhood. But
Yeah.
occasionally I'll go out and drink, but I ain't gonna be the driver though.
There's countless people who are locked up for a long ass time because they got drunk and they didn't know how to handle themselves. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
If you banned alcohol from America, there would be a lot of weird effects, but I feel like there would probably be a lot less people getting locked up in general.
Yeah, could be. You know, or they're just turned to something else.
Yeah.
Be running around looking like zombies like they look on downtown LA.
I would say that like out of every fist fight that occurs in America today, that like 70% of those people are drunk.
Right.
You know, like I feel like it's a very high number.
It could be though, you know what I'm saying? Or they're on something else.
When I used to go to bars all the time, I mean, I would just be seeing fights every fucking night, over and over. Like,
Right.
it's just normal shit. Yeah.
Well, because what it is, you know, liquor, it brings the moment together. It makes it feel like a. So now I only do it like if it's a special occasion, you know, and then ain't that much shit a special occasion to me, you know. So like everyone else will be drinking and chilling, I'll be the driver. But if I go and I'm gonna drink, I'm not gonna be the driver.
I respect it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ain't no stop signs, ain't no red lights. If I drink, that's why I can't.
I drink so occasionally now that it just feels weird when I do. We had a live podcast the other day,
Yeah.
and I had like 3 White Claws and a fucking shot, and it was just like a fucking very foreign feeling. Like, who am I? This is a strange.
And then like Bud with weed, not the 420 that just passed, but the one before that. I was on my gaming channel, did a 420 stream.
How was
Seen
it?
the views go, I started getting paranoid and shit because I don't smoke.
You didn't like it though?
I'm like, yeah, let me go get a drink real quick, and I walk off and shit start flushing shit.
Did you? It didn't make you want to become a more regular smoker?
Nah, that's why I don't smoke. Like I used to smoke back in the day, but coming home from prison, I get paranoid if I smoke weed. Like dead ass, like my first year and a half, that's what made me feel like the news was such a bad thing because I was smoking weed when I came home.
Right.
And literally, like the fucking, it's got to be nighttime and the blinds got to be closed. I put my phone on silent. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who calls, I ain't answering. Like just if I smoked a blunt, like I just made me buggy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that just, I don't know. After that many years without it, I guess. So I don't smoke or none of that shit. That's it. I'm just chill, really.
Makes sense. Okay, anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you want to send? Besides just obviously subscribe to the main channel, K-Frog TV, and the gaming channel.
I guess, well, I got, K-Frog TV, I got K-Frog Gaming. And I just want to shout out everybody that's fucking trying to do something with YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, you know what I'm saying? No Jumper, everybody in this shit, you know what I'm saying? And everyone that's keeping it real out there. I ain't really got no names that I can think of, like, off the top. I don't watch YouTube like that.
Oh, really?
Only shit people send me.
Okay.
That's how I stay out of shit. So I can't really shout out one specific person.
That's the problem with me. I know way too much shit on YouTube, and I'm watching all these goddamn videos.
Yeah, like, I mean, occasionally it'll be some weird shit, like them dudes that are out there in the jungle digging and making things. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Where they,
Oh, I love that shit. Yes.
they make like a jacuzzi and shit, like some weird shit. Like they dig. I'll be like, that shit's raw.
I was showing that to my nephews because they're like 9 or 8 years old or whatever, and that like think about from the mind of like a little kid. That's the fucking coolest thing in the world. That you could just dig a hole and make a house under the ground. But the fact that there's so many YouTube channels doing that shit is kind of mind blowing.
I know, and they make buku money. Like if you see the shit that they like, their views and everything, I'm like, damn, like they just. It's unreal. Or they'll put the little thing in front and they'll cook on it. It'll be some shit you ain't never seen.
But you know what's funny is that shit is going to be like the prison fucking food genre, where once they've made enough houses in the ground, it's going to be hard to get people to pay attention to new houses dug into the ground.
I do actually got to shout out 1090 Jake though. Can't forget about 1090.
What would just in general?
Yeah, I got to shout him out because he mentioned me when he, you know what I'm saying, you're the one that say he brought my name up and all that for the, what's it called? So shout out to 1090. I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Feel me? I'm proud of him. Shit like that. Old big head ass. Feel me? But other than that, you know what I'm saying? That's all I can say really. Feel me?
I was looking at him and he was wearing a shiesty, like in some vlog footage or some shit, the mask that covers like your whole face.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. Maybe I won't get one. I was like, maybe that's not made for my gigantic fucking head. I don't know.
Right.
It looked cool on Pooh Shiesty. It looked cool on Jake too. But I was just starting to think, I'm like, maybe I'm too old for this.
Well, he probably got a smaller one than he was supposed to get. You know, they usually say one fits all. No, it's usually one fits all, but maybe he had to get that custom shit. You feel me?
Yo, I got a big ass head.
Anybody I fought with 1090 though. Yeah. We used to roast each other though.
He might look like he has a big head though, but I have a fucking huge head. Like I cannot wear a normal hat.
Right.
It's a serious problem.
Yeah, other than that, though, I ain't got no one else on YouTube to shout out. I do want to shout out Eastside DV, though, where I'm from, of course.
For sure.
I'm from the East Side. Shout out to everybody from Broward County, Florida, where I'm from.
No doubt. Tap in with my boy, K-Frog. Appreciate you sharing the story with me, my guy.
Appreciate you,
my
bro.
Man. K-Frog,
know.
No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Patreon, Instagram, all that shit. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will be back real soon. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.